Hey guys, BBI here. I want to stop and say thanks for tuning in and checking out whatever the video is about that's about ready to come up next. If you could take a minute and hit subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you've seen here, make sure to hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Anyhow, guys, all that aside, let's get on with the show. Oh, my German has found this spot on her leg where she's licking it to death. And we put Cobics on it. We put Icum spray. We put all kinds of stuff on the leg to try and deter her from licking it. But she's one of these really thick-headed dogs, right? She's denser than dense. So, unfortunately, she's been doing the cone head thing here lately. Isn't that right, buddy? Yeah, we love you. Even though you're a little touched sometimes. So I got to keep her where I can see her. And she just decided to go off where I couldn't see her, so I had to bring her back over here. Anyhow, changed the caps. And, of course, it worked fine when I took it out of the box, and it works fine now. I just wanted to see what the inside looked like. Make sure it was cleared. And it was in perfect working order. So this amp, the power switch is actually back here on the back. And then you turn the amp on and off with the switch. Sideband, on off. Okay. Full variable, full bias, set up for sideband. Over here, we have a 1000 watt slug in Ford and PEP, 1000 watt slug in average, and a 5 bird watt element in reverse to show us what we got going on coming back from the bird 10,000 watt dummy load. If I had a nickel for every time I said that here with you all on camera, I probably would need to be out here with you all on camera. Hello, audio. Right now, the workbench is on 11 volts, 12 volts. Hello, audio, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we're going to put about 20 watts in this bad mamma jamba. Let's turn the amp on. Hello, audio. Hello, audio, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hello, audio, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So we're seeing about 320 watts with 20 watts of drive, which is perfect. Let's go up here. Let's see, 2950. That's that meter up here. Let's go up here. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That is a 5 watt slug sitting between the input of the amplifier and the radio. Yep. So perfect schweer. Okay, going in. While we're on that topic, let me discuss something real quick. There are 3 stages of SWR. Okay, 3. You have your standing wave ratio between your radio going through the amplifier to the antenna. Then you have your SWR when the amplifier is in line between the radio and the amp. And then you have a standing wave ratio between the amp and the antenna. The antenna side does not affect the SWR between the radio and the amplifier. And the antenna side doesn't affect the pass-through SWR. You should have the pass-through set up so that when you key up, it affects your SWR like this. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hello. The difference between the amp on and the amp off. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Is 0.2 of a watt. That's what we're looking for. Is that your input tune to the box is the same as your pass-through is the same to your antenna. I am constantly fielding calls about how guys, they'll do this. It's discouraging to me. I'm constantly taking phone calls about how I set my antenna up with my Rig Expert 5500 Zoom or my mother effing junk 250B antenna analyzer, and it says I got a flat SWR. Why is it that when I go and I put my 16 pill on it, all of a sudden I've got 10 watts of reflect? There's something wrong with the amp. Let's rip the whole amp apart. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. And then I calmly tell them, no, there's nothing wrong. Well, they go into defense mode because now they're calling me for advice and I'm not agreeing with them. So now they feel like they have to defend their point of view or defend their science or defend whatever. They're defending where they're coming from. And they'll say to me, but with my MFJ, my 55 Zoom, my AA600, whatever, my CompuStar antenna analyzer, it says I got a perfect match. And I go, well, that's great. I'm sure you do at a less than 1/4 of a watt. Your antenna analyzer works at less than 1/4 of a watt. There's huge electrical differences that take place between 1/4 watt and say 4,000 or even 1,000 or even 200. So just keep that in mind. I know I got off topic. I should do a whole separate YouTube on this, and I think I will. I'm going to just do a whole separate YouTube video on this. But I digress. Back to the topic at hand. Let's go ahead and let's get rid of the 2950 and let's switch over to the derail Stryker 955. Okay, amp is on as far as the power switch, but it is in standby mode. It's not doing she for Shinoda. Let's go over here and let's look at our watt meter. Hello, audio. Remember, we're down on 12 volts. Hello, audio. So now we're going to hit this with 80 watts of drive. This is what your common, plain Jane, straight off the newbie workbench Stryker does. Okay, we pulled the diode out of it, and turned the mic gain up, and we turned the power level up. ALC, 80 watts. Hello, audio. Hello, audio, 1111. Hello, audio. About 425, 430 watts of power. Let's first look at the front of the Stryker. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. It's perfectly happy. Now let's look up here at the bird meter. Hello, less than 1/2 a watt. And that's with a 12-foot coax jumper, which is exactly what you want. Let's turn the amp off. And let's turn on the 1.21 gigawatt power supply. Stryker says we're at 15. Workbench says we're at 14. We'll go with 15. Okay. Hello. Hello. Now we're up to about 130 watts. 30 watts of drive. Hello. Hello. Right at 500 watts. Hello, 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 hello. Even though we've increased our drive. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Everything stays roughly the same, which is what we want. So, end of the day, we got ourselves a 500 watt 2-pill. 500 watts. Look, it does everything the way it's supposed to. It works exactly the way it should. There are no problems with this whatsoever. I am going to put the tin back on top of this. Variable. Sideband. And I mean legit sideband. Yeah. Hold on a second. Amp off. Amp on. Amp off. Amp on. What I'm getting at is the amp's really quiet. It's got these little blue backlit fans in it. They just sit here and they just chooch air. I mean, the cabinet's way bigger than what it... If I was to do this again, it would probably be about yay big. Okay, but cabinet's bigger than what it needs to be. It's got 2 fans. It really only needs 1. It's got a huge heat sink in it. I'm not bitching. I'm just telling you the truth. Look. It's a little 2-pill. It's a monster. It's for sale. Used to be owned by my buddy Mr. Black. Is what it is. We're asking $500 for this plus the ride. So it's that simple. It's that simple. First person to call me gets it. First person to text me, first person to call, whatever. First person to reach out and give me the lovin's, the schmuggins, we'll get her taken care of. Okay, on that note, I'm running down the road. Gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate every single one of you guys. As always, nothing new here. Just something really good that I feel can go to a new home. So, let's go get that big ass 24 pillar 2x4x16 out. Let's do it next. What do you think? I'll see you, gentlemen. Bye-bye.